Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain here. Now we're on to Catacomb, the fifth part of Catacombs here. So we're just going to enter in. And again on Reaper here. Now this one starts to get a little bit trickier as they start adding in some traps here for us to deal with. So I'm just going to summon that hireling of ours.
The holy flame before you holds the darkness at bedside. Show that a battle took place here recently. Tracks indicate several bodies were dragged north.
Alright here, so what I'm actually going to do, I want to test something out. It's something that I haven't tested out before. In the old, before they've updated this, around the shrine here, there was a giant barrier. And if undead were to touch that barrier, it would kill them. Now, right here, there actually are some enemies there that do spawn in.
The lower cathedral.
Now the old way used to actually be, again, just dragging them to the start. They would get too close and then they would just die. So I do want to test that here. It does not look like that is the case. It is good to know. Definitely made fighting these enemies here so much easier. Alright, here. So there are 2 trap boxes. Now there is a trick if you do not have trapping, as they do spawn some traps right here that go back and forth. Fairly dangerous. If you don't have that, you can actually use these breakables here to just jump up top. That is the safe route. If you do not happen to have, obviously, the trapper or the ability to go through those traps, you can just jump up and around them.
The main altar lies ahead, sealed within a cloud of deep darkness. Shadowy forms linger at the edges of the room. They seem dormant.
So at this point here, we gotta eventually kill off these shadows here. Now in order to do that, we gotta actually go down, if you look at our map here, north, east, and west. At the end of each of these paths, there is basically a lever we gotta, an altar we gotta purify. To show up here in our quest log here as well. Each path is slightly different. This one again, it has that breakable here, which I did break, in order to jump up here. Now, and it has those levers. Those levers actually also disable the traps, so I'm just gonna cast a jump on myself, pretending I never broke those. We can actually go here, and as you see, it does disable that trap, giving yourself a free path around. If, however, you don't have the jump, or someone like myself broke that breakable, they do have the control panels located just before the trap on either side here. And even once you pull the levers, you still can come through and disable them.
Words are etched in the archway. Shrine clattering like old bones.
So one thing to point out is there are some enemies in here. However, if we just focus on the white
altar of the avenging maiden
and take them out,
the white.
We can actually immediately purify the altar.
The shadows that cloak the altar dissipate.
And apparently it's not doing that. So in the old days when you do this quest here, purifying that altar would also kill all the undead in each of these rooms. They may have gotten rid of that because it did make it fairly easier. And I guess cause issues with certain everything's glitching. But honestly, who knows why that change was made. When it does kill them, it does give you count for the deaths. It does put them under a misadventure here, like the breakables. But it does still give you count as they were alive, and now they are not. Alright, so that was that one there. Now we're going to head to the north one. Alright, this one, as you can see, has some traps. Now the old method here, this never had a door here or here, allowing you to actually sneak in and pull these levers. The blade traps were actually closer to the lever, however. Now the traps are just on the outside, so we're going to quickly grab them. Head on in, pull the levers.
You hear a clang from the nearby portcullis.
And once we have both of them pulled,
shriek, the bars before the
it will open up this path
rise.
here. As you'll see the two levers here. And again, depending on which one you still need to pull, so if it's the right one isn't lit up, it's the right lever you need to pull, and so on and so
Words
forth.
are etched in the archway.
Alright, again, same thing.
Chapel
As soon as
of
we
the
kill
altar
the
of the
priest,
stands before you without an undead god.
it does let
the
us
shadow over this shrine vanishes.
use the shrine here.
You may now relight.
I do want to try to get the shrine here before, actually, you know what we can do? Call in our hireling. Have them use the shrine. So, alright, so this time it did, end up getting the kills. And as you'll see, we got 3 misadventure from that. So it seems some of them do and some of them don't. Let's give ourselves a top up here. Alright. And generally speaking, I don't like to get so risky. I'll just fight them rather than try to run around and pull. But I did want to show you guys, because I was aware that at least some of them did. Now, these ones are a little simpler. Hold the lever. As you can see, we got a little shadow in here. So I pull this lever, it's going to open up these 2 gates. There's our shadow. The old way, there actually used to be hellhounds in here instead of the shadows. So that was another nice little change they added in. So again, we've got actually 4 levers here. So 2 on either side. And yeah, so here's the
words are etched in the archway.
So we pulled these 2. We never yet pulled these 2. And again, it shows it's very specific on which ones here. So we're gonna pull the one on the left here. Alright, so we got those 2 and the one on the left. Now when we come down here, it shows you the one on the left. So it really goes, and I like that little attention to detail, that it goes and it picks and shows you which ones you have pulled and which ones you have not yet pulled. That way if you do gotta go back, it gives you that little bit of information that you need to know exactly which one you missed, rather than having to go through and look at them all.
The white collapses, and the shadow surrounding the altar vanishes. The altar can now be rekindled.
Alright.
The altar of the winged serpent stands before you. You'll have to destroy its stomach before you can purify it. As the darkness over this altar dissolves, you hear cries of fury from the central vault. The main altar's guardians have awakened.
Alright, and as you can see, once we've killed all of our, not killed, but purified all the altars, it does let us head up here. And all these enemies that were once a shadow are now targetable. So I'm actually going to target, start with the champion corner here. Then we'll work on this one. This one. And finally,
you have vanquished the last
once
of the undead.
all of them are dead, we can now
open
purify
to
our
the last
final
shrine.
altar here.
As you approach the last shrine,
And there we go.
a sense of warmth and welcome sweeps
So what we're
over
going to
you.
do is we're just going to
You
wait
can
just
now
a moment here.
proceed
I just want
to
to
the
see if
Patriarch's crypt.
the guy comes through, but it doesn't look like he's actually going to join us here. So I'm going to run to the beginning of this quest here. And see what we see. So here we are. Here's the exit here, the Patriarch's Crypt, as well as an extra chest. Alright, so we're just going to click on the Patriarchs, and it allows us to actually just step directly into the next part. So for that one, you just want to make your way to the beginning of the quest, and it has our doorway down to the next part. Don't worry, if you do happen to recall out, you can actually just turn right around and click on the door again to step back in. This one here is, again, very similar to what we had just done. There's 3 paths, east, south, and west. The path to the north, as you'll notice, does have a locked door here. This is actually our exit, and the way we're going to use it to get out here. I'm just going to see if we can get those breakables there. Going to get as many breakables as I can. Alright, so that looks to be about them there.
Voices whisper around you.
All is ours now. The shadow grows.
And what we need to do in these ones is make our way to the bottom and simply click on the
Before you
sarcophagus.
stand the sarcophagus of Cardinal
He'll
Olag,
pure it,
second
turn it blue,
Patriarch of Stormreach.
and that's it.
Someone
All we gotta
has
do.
covered this stone in blood,
Well,
disrupting
that's
its
the
warmth.
first step, rather. So what a lot of people do is they actually split up. If they have multiple people in a group,
Voices
each person go one direction.
darkness.
This is our place now.
That is the second one here.
Before you stands the sarcophagus of Cardinal Hengrith, third Patriarch of Stormreach.
And then
It's
we got
been soaked in fresh blood.
one more to go. Now, I do want to point out that once you click on the last one,
Whisper from the darkness.
what happens here is this
Time of the shadow.
giant floor in the middle. Here. There we go. The giant floor in the middle here is actually going to break away, dropping you to the next level. There are 3 different floors, so in each of these rooms, this one here, the one to the east, south, and west, all 3 of these rooms here, this floor breaks away.
Before you stands the sarcophagus of Cardinal Yanaz, 4th Patriarch of Stormreach. Fresh blood covers the mystical wards engraved into his tomb.
Alright, and with this here, when it does break, it each brings you up with 3 separate paths to take in order to get to the end. So again, if you do split up,
but a sudden rumble of stone
Another bit of
shakes
lag.
the crypt.
so if
The
you,
floor is disintegrating.
oh, so it kind of froze halfway through. So if you do happen to split up, each path does go separate. I want to point out
Doesn't look like
that
you'll be able to get back to the
there
room
are some
above.
optionals down here. So this one here is a shadow ambush. There's one with a, I believe it's rats or ghouls. And then the other one actually has a trap in it. I believe the trap
air
one is
grows cold
not this
as you
path here,
round the bend.
despite
You
it
hear
looking like a
rasping
trap.
muttering and the clank of armor.
I will actually go back and go around to show you those other 2 paths. Attempting to, again, show you a trick that I know used to work. But we're going to see if it still works. Alright, so
Something
again, like
terrible
before,
stirs ahead.
we have
Near the
some guardians here.
sarcophagus of Cardinal Bravandus, 1st Patriarch of Storm. The white falls, and the
Once
spell
our
surrounding
guardian
the
is
sarcophagus dissipates. Its ward
It does
cannot
allow us
be
to
restored.
click on the sarcophagus here. Again, I do want to let's do a quick search for some breakables, getting as many as we can. So here are the other 2 paths. As you see, there's one lever there, one lever there. Depending on which path you take is which one it will lead you to. Alright, well, so again, I want to do a little bit of explaining before we get started. So we do have a chest here. Gonna loot that quick. What do we get? It's not bad, but not something I'm gonna wear. So this one here, it does the old way. Once you'd click on this altar, it would spawn in a wraith that would start chasing you. The wraith itself was nearly invincible at level. It was a very, very tough fight, and recommended to just not fight it at all and just run past. However, now, once we click this, it spawns in these 2 here, and the beast of Bel Shalor. Actually, we can fight him, and he is actually defeatable at this point. Like, it's a lot simpler, and you don't have to come in like way over leveled in order to kill him. So as soon as we talk to Marguerite,
snaps out of her stupor. Listen! She commands.
that's when it opens the door.
He's angry
so
now.
it says
He's coming.
to
I
run.
can't stop him.
Marguerite screams as her body is
However,
absorbed into the
again, it
shadowy
does
form, which is looking more strong.
let us kill him, and as you can see, he is dropping fairly easy. He is still a tough fight. However, it is now doable. I do recommend gathering your strength and even fighting him at the shrine if you have to, but it does make it simpler rather than having to deal with him chasing you the entire rest of the quest, which ultimately isn't that long.
Seem to ring from this passage.
So
beckoning you to safety.
Alright.
The altar lies beyond the gates ahead of you.
Here's
Succor
another
is at
thing. So
hand.
as you're trying to flee, it does give you a little bit of a head start, but it does have these traps. Now, these traps here, they're tied to a flame jet on the wall. Now, what's supposed to happen, obviously, you disable the trap, you pull the lever, and that's it, that's all. However, for some reason, so you're about to see, unless they fix that, when you pull these levers, even after getting the traps, the flame jets don't stop. So that one had still gone off. This one here, this one works, like it's as intended, you get the trap and it doesn't go off. But that other one, for whatever reason, it still goes off, so just watch yourself there. And from here, all we gotta do is continue down the path. And that's that. Here is the end, or rather, the beginning of the quest. So there is a trick, or again, there used to be a trick. If we actually hug the walls and we don't go near there, just hugging the wall, we can actually sneak all the way around. And I can go down these other paths here for us before actually completing the quest, allowing us to get that full bonus here. So
it doesn't look like you'll be able to get back to the room of darkness from here.
Alright, so there's our conquest. Alright, and as we head back down, again, nothing here, no traps, no nothing. And there's our ransack, awesome, so I can skip past those. And again, it just leads us to our shrine, head back down, not a big deal. Hey buddy. So again, we got one last path to do. Now it's this last path here that does have the trap. Right here. Just check the map to make sure that I don't repeat the same one again. Alright, and so again, the last path, we're going to just hug the wall. Head down this way. Now it's this last path here, or first, depending on which way you go.
It doesn't look like you'll be able to
has
get back to the room
optional,
of darkness
or
from here.
sorry, not optional, that has the trap. So as you can see, all three paths actually had an optional to defeat some sort of wave of enemies. I guess they ran down the edge. Or not. Not too sure. But right here, the path, and the easy way to know which one has the trap, it's the one that has this giant thing in the center. If it does have, just want to search here, it does have some blade traps. Now as you see, it's in both sides. Now if you actually make your way to the middle here, oh, it's still hitting us. It's not supposed to. But of course we can just get our trap and we're good. Now unfortunately, even with all those traps there, it still doesn't give us our full trap bonus, unfortunately. So you will still have to just make do with only having 3 tiers. But we were able to get that ransack and conquest. So again, that little extra experience. And all that's left now at this point is to retreat to the stairs to actually complete the quest. So there we have all the paths there that we took. And all the extras there. Sorry, just got stuck walking into a wall. Here again. Gotta love that auto run sometimes. And there we have it. There is the completion. And from here, all we gotta do is click on the door to exit the catacombs. I'm not too sure why it didn't give us a count for defeating the rat swarm there, but for whatever reason, unfortunately, we did not get count. So anyway, that was part, what was that, 5 and 6 of Catacombs, so we're almost done now. All that's left here to do is just a couple parts, but we'll get to those in the next video. So thank you all for watching, and have a good one all.